Almost got caught coughing. Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome to Mary Wieden and You, and it's Mary Wieden Live today. Glad to have you along with us. I hope you saw. Did you see what I had on X, folks? Or Twitter. I call it Twitter X. I generally, promote the show. And so this one, I woke up. I couldn't sleep last night because I woke up in the middle of the night. Oh, I didn't have my promo written. So I did. And here it is. It's on Twitter X. And you just go to Mary Wieden, at Mary Wieden, Wieden, because I comes before E. And there's some pictures of guns. And it says, learn them, respect them, fear them, and learn how safety is the first rule of owning them. On Mary Wieden, you, da-da-da-da. And the man sitting across from me this morning happens to know an awful lot about that. John White owns Two Gun Tactical, 2 locations, including your new one over here on 51. Welcome.
That's right. Thank you, Mary.
Well, what does that stand for, by the way, Two Gun Tactical? I don't know what that means. I've been to the store, but I don't know.
It is just a name that my business partner and I came up with. My favorite movie is Tombstone. So where Doc Holliday says, I got 2 guns, one for each of you. So 2 Gun Tactical came out of that when we built the first one, thinking that we might have another location. So we wanted a name that wasn't location specific. And TGT is the abbreviation for Target. And it just works out. It sounds good, looks good on the billboards. And
the original Tombstone, by the way, because on channel 219, which is Grit, they run. Well, there's a television show called Tombstone. This is all new to me. But if there's nothing else on TV, you can go watch that stuff. And then they'll run a movie called Tombstone. I don't know who was in it, but anyway.
Yeah, it's the newest one that came out in 96. Yeah. So.
Well, we are going to be talking about guns, obviously, folks. Let me give you the phone number is 888-808-8637. You can text us at 601-879-4395. And you can watch us, supertalk.fm/Mary. So they can, get some good options here. They can see us, and we'd love to hear from you because it so happens, we booked you a couple weeks ago, I guess it was, not knowing what was going to be happening over this last weekend.
Right.
So I said, John, I think we're going to need to talk about 15s and 47s. And surely we are. There's a picture that I sent in to Lance, and it's me aiming a gun, but I don't know what do you know what gun it was? It's one of those. It looks like that.
Yeah, it was at our store. I think it was one of the AR9 platforms, the 9mm platforms that we were hanging on to.
Yes. Yeah, it's on those pictures. Lance, you got if you want to put that up. Of course, it was not loaded. But the whole business, these ARs and stuff. People say to me, "Why does anybody need to own one of those?" And I say, because they want to. People want to have an AR-15 for whatever reason. That's kind of much their business, right?
Well, that's correct. I own a couple. I have one that I like to just shoot, and I have one that I think I need for self-defense. If you see what's going on in Aurora, Colorado right now, some of those people that live in those apartments wish they owned an AR. Yes,
the name of that those people from Venezuela, it's Trenda Ara something. Trenda Ara something. It's awful. It's awful. And they've also moved into El Paso.
Yes.
So, but you would use those, whatever you want to use it for. It's your business. Can you hunt with them, by the way? Can people hunt with them?
You can. Smaller game with them. They're just self-defense, like I said, target practice, and they're fun to shoot. It's a NATO round. They're pretty inexpensive to shoot. So.
Do you mind telling me how much they are by the gun itself?
So you can
over 500.
Yeah, you can run 600, and it's like a car. You can run 600 up to $3,000 if you wanted to. So there's lots of manufacturers out there with different types. Yep.
Do people come in and say, "I want to get me one of those today," or what? How does that work?
Oh yeah, that's right now they're pretty hot items. Yeah, and what we're finding out is that ladies are buying them now. In fact, we're having our first beginner AR course this month.
Ooh.
Ladies are buying them for home defense because they you get multiple rounds. You get 30 rounds out of them, and you get low recoil. They're easy to shoot, so we see a lot of that.
What's the distance on those?
Several hundred yards.
Yeah. Pretty good. I mean, if somebody is in a different part of your house and you have to take steps, you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, and you need the right ammunition to make sure that it goes and doesn't travel through the bad guy or through the walls. You need to think about all that, but they're really hot items.
Let's talk about women and guns, because so many women are like, "Oh, I'm afraid of guns." Well, this blew my mind after my father passed away, and he left a lot of guns behind, of course. And my mother said, "Take them," and she sold some or gave them away, I guess. And I took a pellet gun, which I don't know how to use. It's too heavy for me anyway. I don't know. I don't think it works. But I said, "Mother, you should have a gun." She said, "Oh, I might shoot myself." I said, "Mother, you used to go deer hunting with Dad. You know what to do." But she said, "No, I don't want a gun in the house." But she said, "I have a bat. I'll use my bat if anybody breaks in." Okay. Well, luckily nobody broke in. Thank you for that, Mama. But we need to tell people it's okay, but you need to know certain things, like the promo says. And by the way, people know, and I'll repeat it again, I have taken the NRA course years ago. And the whole thing about the NRA, people, they're so stupid, the antis. They don't say, "We'll go out and kill people." They say safety, safety, safety. And
That's
this
right,
is the most important thing about guns that you can ever possibly know about is safety. Would you say that?
Absolutely. And that's how we start off every one of our classes. We push the 3 NRA safety rules on every class, and then we end with the NRA safety rules with them. So.
Which I can't remember, but I don't know where my paperwork is on that. But it is all about that. It's not a toy.
That's right. And a lot of people are just uneducated on firearms. A lot of people don't know that the gun's just not going to go off just sitting there. They also need to know you got to have the right holster to cover the trigger so you don't accidentally pull the trigger. The gun is not going to go off unless you pull the trigger.
Well, I was thinking about one time when there was a JPD officer. This is a long time ago, and he was in the bathroom and his gun went off. Well, he must have hit the wrong button or something. He did something and it went off, and that doesn't happen very often, does it? And by the way, I should make this other point too that I always want to say: guns do not have life. They do not get up in the morning and say, "Gosh, I guess I'll go kill somebody." That doesn't happen. A person will get up and go and kill somebody if they want to, unfortunately. But the gun does not. It's an inanimate object, and it is only at the command of the owner.
That's right. I carry a firearm every day, everywhere I go. And I've never had to use it. Hope I never have to.
You don't want to.
But I'm carrying one for self-defense, not for any other purposes, not for criminal activity, for sure.
Well, it's so important to know how to handle a gun. You don't just look at it and you don't put it up to your face and go, "Golly, look at this." Well, you can if you've got it pointed away, you can look at it, but you don't aim it to you. You don't aim it to anybody.
Right. That's the first NRA rule. Always keep your barrel pointed in a safe direction.
Oh, see, I've forgotten that. So, well, it makes a whole lot of sense. Even if it's a wheel gun, and a lot of people are like, "Wheel? What's a wheel gun?" Well, that's a revolver because it's on a wheel. I don't know. Is that a military expression? I don't even know how I know that, but
no, a lot of people just call them wheel guns just because, like you just said, the revolver spins in it.
Rotates. But no, you don't look at those, and those probably would be the most difficult to fire indiscriminately, I guess I'd have to say. But we're not firing anybody indiscriminately. But
that's right.
The first thing, you don't do that. And when you go someplace, well, tell about your store, by the way. It's not just a store, by the way. It has a lot of things, including a shooting range, both of them, right? Shooting ranges at both places.
That's correct. We have at Flowood, we only shoot handguns. At the new location in Ridgeland, we do rifles and handguns. We sell handguns. We rent them to use on the range. So if you were in the market for a firearm, you can come and try one before you buy one to make sure that you like it. We have all the accessories, holsters, ammunition, everything else. And we also do lots and lots of classes.
Yeah, and I've got pictures of the way your store is set up, by the way. Sound like I'm doing a commercial for it, but I was never there until a couple of weeks ago. And it's an impressive place because you don't walk in and a bunch of guns are hitting you in the face. It doesn't happen that way. You have other things to look at. There are a lot of accessories, including clothing. You have that. You can have clothing for shooting and bags to carry your guns. But when you go to a place like a shooting range or come to your place, you don't just lay your gun out. There's a certain way to put your guns, isn't there?
Yeah,
generally.
So when you come in, we make sure that your gun is cased or holstered.
Unloaded.
Or does that... As long as it's cased or holstered. Okay. Remember, you can't get a hold of that trigger. Most people do come in with their firearms already unloaded, and then we don't pull them out till we get into the range. And we have a 5-minute video we make everybody watch to show you how to handle your firearm safely inside the range.
And you've never had an accident? Of course not, because people are doing the right thing.
That's right.
This place, this Richland facility is computerized. You don't have to zoom the little target back and forth to look at what you did.
That's right.
Do you? It's computerized.
We have a camera in each lane that focuses on your target, and an iPad in each lane where you can see your target.
What you did, yeah.
Yeah, and this one in Ridgeland is the largest one in the state.
Wow. Do you have that in Flowood, too, where it's computerized like that, or do you move the target up and down?
No, we don't, but we're in the process of revamping it. It's 7 years old. It's been really good to us, but we want it to match this one in Ridgeland.
Not that it's a hardship to zoom things up and down. I mean, that's not a hardship, but if you don't have to do it,
Yeah, and it is. It's a really neat, it's a really good training tool, especially if you're shooting at 15 yards and you really can't see the bullet holes. You can see exactly where you're firing at. Yeah.
This is John White, folks. He is the owner of Two Gun Tactical, both locations, and you can call him up. As I gave you the numbers, 888-808-8637. You can text us at 601-879-4395, and you can watch us online. SuperTalk.fm/Mary, and you can see what we look like. What are people most interested in by way of guns these days? You said they're buying the ARs.
Yeah, we sell more handguns than we do anything. People getting in the market to carry concealed.
What's the law about that? We have open carry. Now, don't we in Mississippi? We have open carry. It means I can walk down the street with my gun on my holster, and you can see my holster, you see the gun. I can do that if I wanted to.
That's right.
If I had a rig like that.
But there are a lot of places you cannot carry in constitutional carry. Our enhanced carry permit for the state of Mississippi allows you to carry your firearm anywhere but a federal court or a federal building, court in session, and a police station. And other states also honor our enhanced carry permit. So our constitutional carry is good in this state, but it's not good if we cross the border into another state.
Oh, they don't. I thought you said they honor it. They don't.
They honor our permit. They don't honor the constitutional carry.
Oh, okay. So what's the difference between a constitutional carry and a permit?
So the permit gives me, like I said, there's a lot of places that you cannot carry constitution carry. You can't carry in a school or state grounds. There's a long list of places you cannot carry. So I always tell my customers I have an enhanced carry permit because if something happens, I don't want to be in that gray area of the law.
Right. Yeah. So you have that. But most people, I don't know. Do most people have them? I don't know.
Most people, our classes, we teach this class 3 times a month. They're pretty full. But people that are really thinking about carrying a firearm for self-protection want to be on the legal side if anything is to happen.
Well, you can legally carry an unconcealed, open carry. You can legally do that, but, correct? I mean, you might be doing it. Everybody might remember Kirk Fordyce. There was such a scandal. He was walking down Capitol Street with his gun in his holster. Oh! Yeah. Everybody fell down over that one. But I don't even know if it was legal then to do that, but it is now anyway.
Right.
So, but but you can do that. And if you want to get the permit, where do you go to get it?
Two Gun Tactical.
Oh, you have them? Oh.
Yeah, well, we don't do the permits. We do the classes. Okay. You have to have an 8-hour class.
For concealed carry?
For the enhanced carry.
Oh, okay.
Now, our state has 2 permits. It has a concealed carry permit, and then it has the enhanced carry permit. So the enhanced carry permit's an 8-hour class. It is the top of the permits that for the state. Gives you access to everywhere to carry a firearm except for those 3 areas I just talked about.
Did you have you been watching? Of course you have. What's been going on? Unfortunately, with President Trump. Where do we start with that? But I didn't understand. They said something that I didn't understand. So the guy was like 150 yards away or less. You heard different measurements on different networks, but I heard somebody say, but the guy was not in the line of fire, implying that he couldn't have hit the president. I don't know. It didn't make sense what they were saying. Do you know what they were saying? I mean, unfortunately, the guy could have.
I read the story last night. They said that President Trump was about 400 yards away. This guy had been hiding in the bushes for 12 hours. He was looking for an opportunity. But what most people aren't reading is that this guy had been arrested in North Carolina 70 times.
Oh!
On 100 charges. 2 of those charges were for machine guns. One of those charges, he ran from a police officer and barricaded himself inside the house. Now, when are we going to let people like that quit walking our streets?
Exactly. Well, and I'll bet you the other side says, well, if they didn't do anything wrong, like the crazy kid who, in where was he, Pennsylvania? Crazy kid was in Pennsylvania. Well, we knew that there was something wrong, but if they didn't do anything, we can't just bang on the door and go in and get them, can we? We can't do it. But that guy, this roofer, whatever his name is, that's really bad. 70 times?
70
Why was he walking
times.
around?
Yeah, why was he walking around? He had machine guns in North Carolina. Those are federal offenses. I don't know why he was out. Our justice system's just not doing what it's supposed to do.
No, and something that really scared me, I didn't know this till a couple of days ago, that the Secret Service is not a part of the Treasury Department. The Secret Service is
2003.
Homeland Security? So we're relying on this fool Mayorkas to be the boss of these people? Are we kidding? 2003? That's crazy, Lance. Why didn't Trump do something about that the first time around? I mean, who? Oh, man.
You got way too many law enforcement agencies with sensitive information that now can be shared, that if you have Secret Service, originally there to protect money and counterfeiting, but the reason the Secret Service was in the Treasury was to keep it isolated from the other agencies and leaks and things about where the president may be going. And all of a sudden now everybody seems to know where the president is. Even on his private golf course.
Yeah, even before he knows where he's going.
Yeah, he didn't even know that.
No.
This guy was sitting there, as John said, 12 hours.
12 hours.
I don't even know if Trump knew he was playing golf 12 hours before.
Exactly. But anyway, it was changed in 2003 under Homeland Security. Oh, I think that needs to be changed. What do you think, John? I mean, that's insane.
I totally agree.
I mean, especially with this Mayorkas guy, it was like having bless their hearts, I feel so sorry for the border people who have to let stuff go. Have to let all that stuff go in. We're coming up on a break. That's what that music is. And we're going to take a break here on Mary Wieden and You. This is John White, owner of Two Gun Tactical. Join us. We are talking about guns today on Mary Wieden and You. I have John White, owner of Two Gun Tactical. You are welcome to holler at us. We'd love to hear from you. 888-808-8637 and then 601-879-4395 is how you can text us. Of course, not while you're driving. You know better than that now, but I always say that. And then you can watch us at supertalk.fm/Mary if you are near your computer, your phone, whatever you have. And John White is here again, the owner of Two Gun Tactical. I wish I could remember what we were talking about when we went to break. It was time to go for break. Where were we?
We were talking about this assassination attempt on Trump.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
The guy had been arrested 70 times just in North Carolina.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You remember, he's living off of $3,000 a month. He supports his son. They're openly Trump haters. Apparently a gun collector. He's been to Afghanistan, Ukraine, Hawaii, and you're doing that with $3,000 a month. Now, I mean, again, I made this point earlier today. I don't know how you do that on $3,000 a month.
Even I'm a cheap person.
Yeah,
I can figure out ways to do things cheaply, but not all that on $3,000 a month.
No, it's not happening. So there's money somewhere, and who knows where it's coming from.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we talked about how did this guy know this? He didn't just figure it, I don't think. I think, and I hate to be conspiratorial, but I think there was inside information, and somebody did make a reference to that yesterday somewhere about could be inside information. Who knows? It would have to be somebody on staff, but still, 12 hours sitting out there. And the kid from Pennsylvania, I think that the bad guys, whoever they are, the rabid anti-hunters, anti-Trumpers, I think that the kid was told, he was a loner, he's a gunner, disaffected, et cetera, et cetera. I think he was told, if you do this thing for us, we're going to give you a lot of money, cars, we're going to take care of your parents, we're going to move you to a nice island where you can have anything you want for the rest of your life. What do you think? And so that's why they had to take him out, because as I said then, I'll say this again, but I say they had to kill him because he would have cried and wet his pants if he'd been caught. That's the thing about the kid. This guy seems to be, he's not bought and sold by anybody, I don't think. What do you think, John?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. He did survive
I'm glad he survived so we can know.
Well, I hope they put him in the right hands, and let's get some information out of him and who was behind this.
And he could go to Gitmo. He and some of these other people. So that Venezuelan bunch, that's a good place for them. Nobody talks about that, but Gitmo's still open.
It is, and it should be.
And that's where those people should go. That'd be a perfect place.
Yeah, and Venezuela's crime rate, ironically, has dropped to historic lows.
I know, because they've all come here.
Yeah, we've got all their prisoners here.
Yes, and they're scattered around the country. You do know, by the way, in terms of illegals, that we have in Mississippi around 22,000. You've heard that, right? The state audit people did that. And we're spending about $109 million a year that we don't have on these people. But so far we don't have that first name, Trende. It's the Venezuelan. I've memorized it. It just kills me that I can't pull it out of my face. Trende something ARA. But anyway, the time will come. They'll be here. I hate to say that.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time.
Yes. Have you ever you've never fired your pistol to protect yourself?
I have not. I have not.
We don't want to.
Trende Aragua.
Trende Aragua. Yes. Trende. Yes. Thank you very much.
Well, or we could just, criminals.
Well, no.
They can have a name for it themselves, but I got one for them.
Let's put our criminals in their own little boxes. They're the worst. And then the cartels, we don't even know their names, except Sinaloa is one of them and some other ones. But Trende Aragua. Yes, like guacamole at the end. But anyway.
Make it sound appealing.
Yes, make it sound. That's pretty bad stuff. But it's a good idea that you have. Oh, and another thing about having guns in your home, John. I'm sure you teach people what to tell your children. Why do you advise people to tell their children? Because we know kids climb around, little ones. They climb around and get into stuff, and you don't want them to get into your guns.
Yeah, that's right. You should store your guns and ammunition separately. Put your ammunition where the kids can't find it or get their hands on it. That's what we do at my house. I keep one loaded gun at the house, but it's in a biometric safe by the bed. That's the easiest thing to do, and teach kids that guns aren't to play with. So
exactly. Yeah.
We hear that a lot. I hear people say, "Well, my kids know better than to play with my guns." Okay, what about your kids' friends when they come over? That's what worries me the most.
Good point. Absolutely good point. I'm thinking of that awful situation that happened in Jackson a few years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago. A woman had 3 children. She had a little girl, a tiny little girl, and 2 boys. The little girl was like 3 maybe, and the boys were like 7 and 9, something like that. And she went someplace and left the kids in the car. Well, so she also left a loaded gun under the seat, passenger seat, I guess, in the car. And the little girl was playing around, and look at this. She played it, and she shot it, and she killed one of her brothers. Totally preventable.
Absolutely, totally preventable.
Are people, when they come for classes and they ask questions about guns, do they think about that? Do they say, "What do I do about my kids?" and stuff like that?
They do, and when we teach the class, we'll put a biometric safe up there and show you how to use it. We go through what I just talked about: ammunition, holsters, things like that. We have a lot of people that come in and say, "I need a safety on my gun because I got kids." I tell them that is not the way to keep your kids playing with guns, because there's 2 parts on that gun that are going to move, and that's a safety and a trigger. And if kids put it in their hand, they're going to figure that out pretty fast.
Which is sad. Have you ever had occasion to turn somebody down who comes in and say, somebody wanders in, "Hey, I think I'd like to buy a gun today"?
Yes.
What are the occasions?
So we have had some people that have come in that maybe we thought were not mentally stable, using some wrong language, some aggressive language. And when we fill out the 4473 for the ATF and we do the background check, we have the option as Two Gun Tactical to dealer deny somebody. So we've had people come in that smell like alcohol. We'll dealer deny. Of course, marijuana is the biggest thing that we smell when people come in, and we'll dealer deny those too.
And that goes on the public record, right? Or somewhere. What if they say, "Well, I guess I'll just go up to Hernando and get me a gun"?
That does not go on public record.
Does not.
It's our policy.
Yeah.
So we hope, if everybody wants to keep their FFL, their federal firearms license, they better turn them down as well.
Wow. That's amazing. Do you get questions from other dealers? Hey, how do you deal with this? Or do you give advice to other dealers? Like, what do we do here?
We do. The gun range business is a tight-knit group, so we're always calling or getting calls about people. For people asking what do they do with guns. Our biggest one right now is people that have firearms that have been passed down from a family member, and they don't know what to do with them. Or if they want to sell them. So if you bring those guns to me, we can sell them for you, but the person that gun goes to has to have a background check. So it's the safest thing to do. I don't want to be liable for selling somebody a gun personally, and then that gun turn up somewhere, somebody come looking for me.
What's your background? What brought you into this?
I'm retired from the Mississippi Air National Guard, 33 years. Got several combat tours under my belt in Afghanistan and Iraq. I was a senior intelligence officer. However, the military did not teach me how to shoot. Really? I'm a Boy Scout volunteer, and every summer camp I teach rifle and shotgun, and so does my business partner. And we started teaching pistol to 14-year-olds. So we built an outdoor range, or the Boy Scouts did. We helped design it and get it up and running in Hazelhurst. So it was time for me to retire, and I pitched this idea to my business partner, and he wanted on board, and it's been good for us.
Does he have the similar background, I guess?
No, just the Boy Scout portion.
That part. Well, thank you for your service.
He's a doctor. Thank you.
Bert was in the Air Force, and he learned to shoot. I'll never forget this one time. It's the only time except for going to ranges, I ever saw him shoot something, and some people were over at our house. This is a few years ago, and there was some commotion down by the boat because we live at the reservoir. And turned the light on and looked, and a snake was sticking up out of the water, and it had a fish in its mouth. So Bert went and got his gun, and he killed the snake, but the fish swam away. And these people who were visiting us were from Denmark. They're like, "Oh, look at this, Mr. Case, how you do this?" All this stuff. Well, he was pretty good at that stuff.
Yeah,
I must say.
And most of us growing up, I'm a hunter. I like to bird hunt. Okay. I had BB guns as a kid too, and it was just that's what we did growing up.
Well, that's what they do in a lot of places, like up north. That's. My dad with the BB gun in the basement. I'm telling you, that was lesson number one. But military and hunter. So I have that mindset. Again, I want to talk more about women who I think are afraid of guns because I don't know why, but I think they're afraid of them, and they shouldn't be, because all ladies, you gotta know what to do.
That's right, and we have two ladies that are instructors at Two Gun Tactical, so we can bring you in and give you some one-on-one. We do a ladies-only beginner class that's taught by ladies. It's our most popular course, but you can if you're worried or if you're thinking about it, I think you should just walk into Two Gun Tactical and just look around. You don't have to shoot. You don't have to put a gun in your hand. Just come in and see how comfortable it is to be there and how much help you'll get. And start the process there.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, there was just a text that we had. It says, ask Mr. White to explain the difference between constitutional carry, concealed carry permit, and enhanced carry permit.
Okay, yeah, there I see it, yeah.
Yeah, so we were just talking. I pulled up my phone to see what constitutional carry was. You can't carry inside a school. You can't carry any college. Any churches, any polling place. You cannot carry where they serve alcohol. Now, you got to be careful there. That's not just a bar. This is constitutional carry. So if you get just the firearms permit, it's about the same as constitutional carry. You can't carry in those places. The enhanced carry, I can carry concealed, which is what I'm doing now, and I can carry. Like I said, the only three places are federal facilities, court and session, and a police station. That's it.
And then there was that other one? Was there another one?
Well, that's the concealed carry is underneath the enhanced carry permit.
Okay.
That's right.
If I'm right here, you said constitutional carry and concealed carry are similar.
That's right.
In order to get the enhancement, you have to have the enhanced carry permit, and that allows you to go dang near anywhere, just not those few places you mentioned, concealed.
That's right. And it also like the states that border us honor our enhanced carry permit, not just the firearms permit.
Okay, that's it gets a little sort of in the weeds a little bit, but it's okay. Once you get used to doing it and hearing all that. And you teach that in the courses. Do they have their own courses, the carry part, or is that included in your?
That's all covered in the enhanced carry portion. We have an attorney that does an hour Mississippi law presentation inside the class that answers all those questions.
I want to talk about courses when we come back to our final segment. Time's flying.
Okay, yeah.
It's Mary Wieden and you, John White, owner of Two Gun Tactical, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Okay, we got our final segment here. It goes by fast. This show does. It really does.
It does.
Yeah, that's John White, owner of Two Gun Tactical, both locations, the new original one. By the way, when you go in that store, like I said earlier, it's not like you're bombarded with a bunch of guns coming at you. There are a lot of things people can buy. It's a shopping opportunity, I must say, for carrying guns, cleaning guns, clothing to wear hunting or wherever you want to go. It does have a lot of stuff like that, which if you thought this up, did you think that would be less intimidating? Some people might be like, ugh, guns. Well, don't be that way, but they're not like that.
Right now, first-time gun owners, 90% of first-time gun owners are ladies and seniors. So that's what we built our shop around. You've been in the one in Ridgeland, and you walk in, and it doesn't look like a pawn shop. It doesn't look like a gun shop.
No, it doesn't.
It's very well lit. It's really open. Our guns are on the wall, so you don't have to get down on your hands and knees to look in the shelf there. My employees have to come out
I was going to say,
to get one-on-one time with you.
Somebody will come to help you, too.
Yes,
I mean, you don't have to stand around going, what do I do here? You don't have to feel lost. What kind of guns, the women in these courses that you're teaching, are some of them strictly for women, or are they mixed, or how do you do that with your courses?
So our beginner courses, we do a mixed beginner course, and we do a ladies-only beginner course. We have a number of ladies that take personal instruction from Veronica at the Flowwood location. She's my youngest daughter. She's an NRA instructor.
Cool. Wow.
And even though she's mine, she is a really good instructor, and she does a lot of personal training there.
Well, how old was she, or how little was she when she first, discovered, and you helped her discover guns? I mean, so I was 5, the basement and the thing. But how old was she?
She was 13.
Oh.
I took her to Boy Scout camp with me because I was going to be down there a couple of weeks, and she was at home. So we let her shoot a shotgun, and she just has an eye for shooting shotgun and went to Mississippi College on a shotgun scholarship.
Wow.
She's really a great shot, yeah.
So, but what kind of guns are the women most interested in? Pistols, big cowboy-type pistols, or little snubs, or what are they interested in?
The semi-automatics, the 9 millimeters are our biggest seller. We've got several options there. We just like to get if you don't have a handgun, we've got that try before you buy program. You come in and put something in your hand. Once that gun feels good in your hand, then we're going to go shoot a few shots out of it, see if you like it.
And they don't cost a fortune.
That's right. You can be anywhere from $350 to up.
How many of them say, "Oh, I'm really afraid of this. It seems so scary." And like I said earlier, what do I do about my children? What do I do? My husband doesn't shoot, or something like that. You have to talk them through that and teach them.
We do, and we've had several ladies come in that have never shot, and they do personal instruction. They say, "This is where I want to be. I want to be able to come in, hang my target, shoot my gun all by myself." And now they've got their enhanced carry permits, and they're carrying every day.
Wow. And by the way, folks, you can also rent rooms. You have regular rooms there that people can, meeting rooms that people can. It's just pretty amazing place. Plus, you have a cafe corner.
Our coffee bar, as we call it. That's right.
Yeah, you got that there too. So this guy, you've thought about all this kind of stuff, which it just makes the whole experience. If you have any kind of fear, and you shouldn't, but if you have any kind of hesitation, you feel at ease. And
that's what we want. All of my guys are certified instructors if they're old enough, anyway. And you're going to get all your questions answered. Everything you need to know.
And nobody's going to think you're crazy to ask a question. I mean, ask your questions. Nobody's going to say, "Oh, well, how stupid are you?" No, that doesn't happen.
That's why we built this facility. I don't like to consider it a range. I like to consider it an educational facility, and we get all questions, and that's what we're there for. How long is a standard NRA course? How long is that? Oh, my goodness. I'm a training counselor with the NRA, which means I can certify my own instructors. The NRA instructor class is 10 hours. So, and that's where you start. So they go up from there.
Well, as a person taking it, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Well, the basic pistol class that we teach is 3 hours. It's on Sunday, 4 to 7. It teaches you. It's 2 hours classroom, 1 hour range. We take it real slow, one bullet at a time. Once we get in on the range. You've got an instructor there with you if you have any questions.
I thought it took longer. When I took it years ago, I thought it was like once a week for several weeks, something like that.
That may be
maybe
an NRA class, a formal class.
Yeah.
That may be it, but the NRA's got tons of classes.
I know I got paperwork from it, but I just don't know where my paperwork is. But anyway, I've had that,
right.
And I thought that was, good stuff. But I don't remember anybody being nervous about it or anything like that. You don't have to be nervous about this stuff, folks, at all. Being nervous means you don't know what you're doing, and you're going to go someplace where you're going to find out what to do. So you don't have to be nervous.
Well, that's right. And one of the two biggest reasons people get hurt with guns is one is ignorance, and not that you're an ignorant person. You're just ignorant of how the firearm works, and we're going to teach you that.
And so it could be very short. I figured they'd be coming once a week for several weeks or something like that.
No. So we have a series of classes. We'll do a basic pistol, then you can do the enhanced, then you can do the drawing from the holster, defensive pistol 1, defensive pistol 2, personal protection inside the home. We just keep going up with our courses. So.
I do have to say, by the way, you teach rifle. I did have one opportunity years ago to fire. I guess it was a military rifle, and it was at the end of a day. It was the day when I first fired a semi, and I thought it was a 9mm, and the instructor said, "Well, you don't have to hit the target; just get the feel of what it's like." And not only did I hit the target, but I hit a smack in the middle bullseye. I was like, "Well, hey, this is pretty cool." And so, but later on that day, he goes, "Okay, now here's a military rifle, M4. I don't know what it was, but and I remember being on my knee for it." I could not hold that gun up. It's just I couldn't. It's just too heavy for me, and I kept hitting the ground. Yeah. So you have to have a little bit of strength, I think, to do that, whether you're a man or a woman, if you've never fired any kind of a rifle. Because like the little one that we're showing, that I was holding, that was pretty small. But these are bigger. It's hard.
Yeah.
You got to be fairly strong. And if you can't fire it, well, then too bad. You find another rifle that you can.
Yeah, we did that with a couple of customers the other day. They couldn't shoot she couldn't shoot the handgun really well that they had, so we got a little 9mm like we showed you that she could hold with both hands, and that's what they purchased to defend their home with.
Well, yeah, and those are not cost prohibitive.
No.
I mean, well, how much is your life worth? But they're not cost prohibitive. And is it hard to find? By the way, is it hard to find ammo? And you sell ammunition.
We sell everything you need for a firearm. Yes.
Do you have to report that any place?
No.
It seems to me some of the stores are having to report if you, I don't know, I guess if you put it on a card, it gets reported someplace.
I'm not sure about that, but not for me. We don't report anything unless the ATF asks us to.
And do they? What now? What you got?
I was just going to say, do y'all do the suppressor type of truss or anything like that?
We do. We have the kiosk at the Flowood location. We're waiting on it at the Ridgeland location. So it takes about 15 minutes to apply to get your suppressor, and they've been coming back pretty fast.
A suppressor, folks, is another word for silencer, right? Well, it's quieter.
It makes the firearm quieter. It doesn't make it quiet like you see in the movies.
Oh, okay. It's a real, but it's not like blam blam. That's a pretty loud thing.
Right.
Do you suggest that that's a thing that they should have, or it's an optional thing?
It's an optional thing. I have one on my deer rifle, just so I don't have to wear hearing protection when I'm out hunting. If I have an AR for self-protection inside the house, I'm going to have a suppressor on it just so I don't damage my hearing if I ever have to use it.
Oh, so the neighbors, don't necessarily hear it.
Yeah, no, your neighbors aren't going to hear it, for sure.
No, we do have to think about that. So, what was it that happened COVID, during COVID and after COVID?
Yeah, so
pre-COVID.
People say, why do I need to carry a gun? There are more guns pulled in America that stop a threat that are never fired than there are that are fired in self-defense. Pre-COVID, 500,000 Americans pulled a gun and stopped a threat. So in other words, bad guy's approaching, I'm pulling my gun, bad guy makes another decision and leaves. Last year, that was 2 million. 2 million times in America, guns were pulled and not a shot fired, but it stopped the threat. So just based on those numbers right there, that's going to tell me maybe I should start thinking about carrying a firearm.
Yeah, we're not pushing guns on you folks. We're just telling you that they're there, and you can learn to use them safely and properly, and you don't have to be afraid of it. You know, you may be afraid of it if somebody's coming to you. That, you know, but I mean, you don't have to be afraid of the gun that's in a crate someplace, or it's on display in one of his display places. But you can learn how to do it, and it's not hard to learn.
That's right.
It's not rocket science. It's just good practical stuff that you should know. And not, like I say, don't be afraid of it.
That's right. The old saying is, if there's guns in the house, one better be yours.
Oh, wow. Was it Switzerland? It's some country that requires every person to have a gun. Switzerland or Norway, one of those. Have you ever heard it? You've heard that?
I have heard that.
I don't know which one it is.
I'm not sure. But
they don't have, whoever they are, they don't have a very large crime rate because everybody's armed. It's as simple as that. Some people say, oh, yeah, if everybody's armed, they're all fighting each other. No, they're not.
That's
they're
right.
not fighting each other because they know it can happen.
Yeah, criminals are cowards. If they think you are a threat, they are not going to approach you. So so if they think, I teach situational awareness. If you come out of your vehicle being aware of your surroundings, most of the time that's going to send a criminal somewhere else.
Well, that's our closing music, John White.
Oh, okay.
One of two going to take it. Any final thought, I guess? It would be yours if you've got one. Pass along to folks that we didn't hit on today.
I would just, if you're thinking about a firearm, just come into the Ridgeland store. Don't even think about looking at one. Just come in and look at the store and see how pleasing it is. The Flowood location too. See how helpful my guys are. And
nobody's going to pressure you. Nobody's going to say, "Ooh."
That's right.
Nothing like that.
We are here to teach you.
Yeah, that's a whole fascinating thing. That's why I like to have you on here, because I knew it was like that. So everybody, listen, have a good day, and I'll see you next time.